All right, guys, today we're diving into the world of pies. Any way you like them. I've actually got 4 delicious slices looking at me right now, and I can't wait to dive in. Kristin Mullins, otherwise known as the Pie Lady, joins us, and I'm sure you've heard of the award-winning pies from the Slice Pie Company, which is known across the Triangle. Kristen and her father founded the company over a love of baking pies, and their mission is to tell the stories of family history and tradition with each bite. They have been voted best pies by MSN and USA Today, and their pies are requested by local and national VIPs across all industries. Welcome, Kristen.
Thank you.
I'm excited to learn more about these pies.
Yes, thanks for bringing some samples of your award-winning pies. Excited to try them.
I cannot show up anywhere without
sure
pies.
Oh,
so.
you're the kind of friend everyone and invites everywhere.
Yes.
Yeah. Quick confession. As an Australian, when I hear the word pie, I instantly think of like meat pies or mince pies. Mm-hmm. I don't associate it with,
or pizza.
baking. Yeah.
Like pizza or,
Oh, no, we don't even call pizza.
Oh, up north they
pies.
call them pie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know. I see it down here too, but no, we just think of like meat pies.
Yeah.
So, but yeah.
Maybe down the road.
Yeah.
Once you try the crust, you'll be like, you need to make.
Yeah. So what samples do we have here to start things off?
I have dark chocolate truffle. I have pecan, our new sunshine lemon that we just started promoting for Easter. That's one of our specials. And then key lime.
Awesome.
Oh, they look delicious.
Thank
and so which of these would be the most popular, or maybe your favorite?
I always bring my most popular.
Okay.
So like we have like our State Fair Blue Ribbon winner was our apple. So that's always been our number one because when I started the business, that's what I just kept promoting before we started to win other awards. So that's always been across the board our biggest seller.
That's
but
like your signature pie.
But I always say that's the only one we entered, so that's why we won. So if I entered my key lime, if I entered my pecan, we would have won.
Could have got gold, silver, and bronze, maybe.
Exactly.
Yeah, I'll grab the pecan.
Pecan. Always pecan.
Always pecan.
Pecan. Always mess it up. I don't know how I say half the things,
Well, you probably take on different accents depending where you are and where you're traveling. So like one time I had a guy from New York call me and I started the conversation saying pecan, but he kept saying pecan. So then I would change it. And then he was like, don't do that. I said, why? I didn't even realize I did it.
Yeah.
He goes, you're not a pecan girl. You're a pecan girl. And I was like, okay, fair enough. He's like, it doesn't roll off the tongue the same.
Pecan.
There's a new name for you now, the pecan girl.
Yeah. It's a controversial word too. You'd be surprised.
Yeah.
People get upset about things like that.
They do.
I'm like,
In the pie world, there's some serious controversial.
oh, it smells amazing. I've grabbed this one anyway. So, you can take dibs on the other ones.
That one's going to change your life.
We'll try and keep them hidden from the kids when we get home, but
Oh, yeah, that's not going to work.
I doubt it. Yeah, awesome. So, we'd love to hear more of your background, like where you grew up, went to school, how long you've been in Raleigh, if you're a local native to Raleigh, etc. And just paint the picture of that, and then we'll get into your business.
So I am as native as they come, so native that I bought a house across the street from my parents where I grew up.
Wow.
So I'm that lame, but I love Raleigh that much. And I was born and raised here. I was actually the only one from my family that originated here. Everyone came from West Virginia, and so that's a whole nother joke in itself.
Why are you laughing? What are you laughing about?
There's a lot of jokes about West Virginia.
Yeah.
And I always say I was the one that got away or, had the opportunity to not say I'm from there. But that's a joke. It's just a family joke we always make fun of each other with. But born and raised, will never move. I will always have a permanent residential home here. Whether I buy something else or not, this will always be home. So
have you lived anywhere in the US?
No, and I don't want to. I want to travel everywhere, but Raleigh is embedded in me. This is where I want to stay. This is where, when I decided to start a business, it just all felt right to do. So, but yeah, so my family, my parents live across the street from me. I see them every day. I get to annoy them every day. They're very helpful with my daughter. So
I was just going to say, awesome for babysitting.
It's the best.
On call.
And she's the easiest kid ever.
5 minutes notice.
So she gets to hang out with Papa and Nana every day. They pick her up from school most days. My dad has a Model A, so he'll pick up and like rev his engine and the horn. She's like, thinks she's the coolest kid. Papa spoils her. So.
There you go.
Yeah. So yeah, I elementary, middle, high school here, went to Athens Drive, and then graduated. Thought I was gonna go to 4-year college. I'm just not a school person, so I did what everyone told me I should do as long as I could. And then an opportunity came. I got a 2-year degree at Wake Tech in HR, but I just still didn't know what I was going to do with my life. So I followed the path that everybody told me to follow as long as I could until I just had to do something different. So here we are now.
I love that.
Yeah.
And what was the turning point for you that made you actually said, enough of everyone else?
Well, I just couldn't find a passion for anything.
Yeah.
And then when I had my daughter, life just, I feel like I became alive for the first time, where it was like I just knew what I wanted in life, and I knew if I was going to do it, it all hit me so hard that I just couldn't put it down. And she really was the catalyst for all of it, because I couldn't look at her and just continue to do what everyone else was doing when like everything about me wanted to go down a different path. And so once I had her, about 2 years old, married, very comfortable, I was working for corporate, and then started to work for some consultants that were associated with that role I had previously. And then Slice just started tapping on my shoulder, and I just knew I had to do it. I didn't know how I was going to do it, but I was just going to one day come up with the name, one day come up with, I knew what the logo was going to look like, and I just couldn't put it down.
Yeah.
And here we are 8 years later.
I love that. And what a great role model for your daughter to see that you had the courage to say, no, I'm going to walk my path. And this is what I want to do. And it sounds like it just was born from without of you.
Yes.
And, the logo and all of that just came to you. And so how did you then, put it into practice? Because you've got a 2-year-old and there's a lot going on just being a mother. How do you, amongst all of that, then start to create this award-winning business?
I'm really good at convincing people to help me.
Handy skill.
I'm the youngest of 4, so I was always a bit babied. I'm going to be honest. So my father, when I came up with the idea, with my husband at the time, I was very clear, like, I'm going to continue to work. If this doesn't make sense, I won't move forward with it. But give me some time. And it was kind of organic. I knew what we had was amazing. I knew the product was, I knew once you taste these, you're going to understand why. Like, I just felt like I had to do it because the product in itself is incredible. So then I was like, now I just have to find a way to get it to people. Well, 8 years ago seems so like close, but yet so far. But like around that time, people were just starting to use Facebook as a business tool. It was kind of like people were using it, but I feel like there was still like not everyone had jumped on board yet. Yeah. And I just decided one day after, I remember I got my best friend made my business card, and she helped me design the logo. We both worked together, but she's the artist. And then I just made a post on Facebook. I was like, I've started a business. Awesome. I don't even think I had an LLC at the time. Yeah. I think I was like, let's just see if people believe me. Yeah. And swear. So then friends were like, I want a pie. Well, how much is it? Okay. Dad, will you bake some pies? Sure. And then more orders came in. And then I would say, Dad, will you bake some more? And he's like, sure. I will just keep going. I will bake until I can't bake anymore.
Wow.
If you will sell it. And so that's what I found that I have so much passion about, is like marketing, sales. I had no idea I could even do the things that I'm doing now, but I just felt so strongly about this that my dad just said, I'll keep baking. Awesome. And then slowly, then we add an employee. Then I start baking more. Then my friend who helped design all these, she starts baking with me. And then we pick up a restaurant. And then, next thing you know, our state magazine is calling us. So it was slow and steady. We've always been slow and steady, but it's amazing when I think about it was a simple Facebook post.
Yeah, it's amazing.
Yeah.
And you see the pies you're baking from your dad's kitchen. Is that right?
So they have a detached garage that was an apartment that all of us kids, because the house was too small for 4 of us. So the oldest child got to move into the garage apartment. And then 2 years later, the next one, 2 years later, the next one. And so we actually turned that into a commercial kitchen.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
I bet that wasn't easy.
You'd be surprised how little we need.
Yeah, right.
People overcomplicate pies.
But what about permits and stuff? Like running a commercial operation, business out of your house. I know that's you got to jump through.
It's actually easier on you if you do have a detached building.
Okay.
So I remember when we got inspected, the guy was like, "This is the cleanest kitchen I've ever seen, ever." So we knew, we were like, "Okay, we're following all the rules." Yeah. But you'd be surprised. We don't need a lot. I don't need a grease trap or anything like that. So
yeah.
We can get by with just. If you even saw what we still use to this day, you would be shocked.
Keep it simple.
Yes.
Yeah.
So and now you're no longer in the kitchen. Sorry, just so people listening know. You've got a commercial place
we
now.
moved in 1400 South Saunders Street. We're right next door to Earp Seafood. Everything's there now. The whole facility, baking, and then the front is a retail space, so people walk in daily. We have our own parking lot, so you can pre-order or you can just walk in, and then we have pies for sale, slices and whole pies.
Yeah.
So were you? Did you quit your job and just go all in, or were you in a position to do that, or you just started on the side, while you're still working? And was it software you were?
Yeah. So I worked for a local company that was called Time Matter Software. They sold the business, and then we were acquired by LexisNexis. And then I was in charge of software consultants for this practice management software. And so then I was hired by a team of consultants. So I was working from home for them. They were all over the nation. And I was working for them for a few years, and then I continued because it just didn't overlap with how much I was working. And then, of course, I was married. So, we had another income. So it wasn't like there was a major sacrifice in that way. I was okay.
Yeah.
So I don't have that struggle story that some people have where it was all or nothing. So I did have times where I wasn't pushing so hard. So it was a little bit less pressure on me financially. And because, my parents let me basically take over their garage, I can't complain. A lot of people have struggled starting something. So financially I was secure.
I guess like you said, starting on Facebook, which is we have an online business and low overheads. It's not like we had to rent out a brick and mortar space and buy all this equipment. We were able to get started at a pretty low cost. And that sounds awesome that you had that facility there at your parents' place too.
Oh my gosh. When I think about it now, I'm like, what an opportunity that most people would just die to have. I didn't realize until I've gotten deeper into this business how fortunate I've been to have as much help as I've had. And I can see why people eventually just say, I can't do it anymore.
Yeah.
So I'm very grateful and realize I'm so fortunate to have that kind of just that team of people that surround me. So
yeah.
And when did you start Sorry.
No,
When did you start baking? Like young? Like you got a passion for it?
So,
like, and was it always pies or was it other things?
Well, I'm going to be really honest. So I was around it all the time. Was I as much a part of it in the actual getting my hands into it? So like every morning when I woke up, my dad had homemade biscuits or waffles made for me.
Oh my gosh.
So I was around it all the time, but I wasn't necessarily doing it because my dad just loved to do it.
Right.
So it wasn't until I had Eliana, and then I was like, I don't know why I decided to all of a sudden. I was like, this pie is so good. I'm just going to make them. And I remember I called my dad like 20 times because I didn't know what I was doing. Because even though I was around it all the time, I wasn't good at it. But I was like, I'm going to just do it. And so then, once that started and then the idea came, I became more of a I still don't like to call myself a baker. I feel like I'm more of a I don't feel like I've earned it, but I have a great product. And I'm a business owner. So like my dad is the true baker. I mean, even to this day, there's certain recipes he'll just tweak or he'll come up with something. So like he's the true baker throughout slice, but I am kind of like I taught myself to keep up with production.
Yeah. So is he?
But I can do it in my sleep.
Is that his background professionally, or just something he loved to do?
No, he was around it as well growing up. So he was very close to the women on his side of the family, like his great great grandmother, his great grandmother, his grandmother, and they all would just sit around and bake all the time. So he was around it. He is a true his homemade bread, I swear, if he would let me, I would try to sell it. But he's like, no more.
Yes.
And the biscuits, he actually won first place at the state fair with, too.
Wow.
So
Awesome.
I'm like, so there's
expansion, room for expansion.
right?
There you go.
But everyone in my family would be like, stop. Just stick with pies.
Yeah, what a house to grow up in. All the taste testing that must have been going on.
Oh, I know. Well, it was always right. There was no taste testing. It was
That's like perfect
you knew you were getting a solid meal.
Okay. So all the recipes and stuff are like old family passed down.
Mm-hmm. Everything. My dad has tweaked things along the way. We actually didn't even realize our apple pie was vegan because we don't live in that world.
Yeah.
So when we started to sell and people were like, well, do you have this in it? No. Do you have that in it? No. They're like, that's vegan. And we're like, oh my God, we have vegan products and we didn't even realize. So all of our double crust pies are vegan.
Oh, wow.
Our crust is vegan.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Wow, interesting.
You will swear it's not though.
So you're not using butter then?
Nope. No.
What's the secret ingredient?
I don't know.
Yeah, we're not going to.
Love. It's love.
Lots of love.
I guess we've been asking you for your secret ingredients and stuff like that. But yeah, I'm like, how many ways are there to make an awesome apple pie? Like, are there a lot of different ways?
I think people overcomplicate it. In fact, I know they do.
Yeah.
Like even when I read directions to chill the crust for 30 some minutes before you can do anything with it, if you saw what we're doing, you'd be like, you're breaking all the rules.
I love that.
We don't do anything the way that recipes tell you how to make a pie. So I know I'm sitting on something different. It also makes my kitchen more efficient.
Okay.
My cost is lower. So like, we're just doing things.
Differently.
Yeah, we're definitely not doing it the way that other people are.
And it's obviously working because you have award-winning pies, especially for your crust, right?
Yes.
And you mentioned Our State magazine found you. You've been given the Best Pie Award by MSN and USA Today. So tell us about that. How did they find out about your pies?
I have no idea.
No idea.
I swear.
Yeah.
Like it really, things just started hitting us so hard that people were starting to reach out to me and I wasn't reaching out to them and I wasn't having to pay for advertising.
It's the best kind of marketing.
Oh my God. I swear.
Word of mouth.
And I remember I did pay for some advertising, but then next thing I know, I'm getting these awards and I'm like, they weren't related.
Yeah, right.
Why am I doing that? Why am I giving money when I know I've got something so good that they should be coming to us?
Yeah.
And once I started to shift my mentality, I haven't been paying for advertising.
Yeah, that's amazing.
So
it sounds like, just from listening to you talk and your story and kind of the way I think about things, it sounds like you have such a strong belief in your pies.
Yes.
And a passion for them that I think that just draws people into you.
Yeah.
So I'm not surprised that people magically showed up with the same kind of belief for your pies and are sharing it because you're just bringing that in.
It's taken some time for me to build that confidence too, and I think Slice has really done that for me. I was not always so confident, but it's like when you like, even if I were to sell someone else's product, I don't think I would sell it the way that I do with Slice because this is so close to home. And it's like I feel passionate about it. I know there's family history, and then there's a future with it too. With my daughter, like she's like, I want to be.
Oh, really?
She's the pie girl.
Yeah.
I mean, she walks into the kitchen and she starts making her crust, and
Love it.
I mean, she will bake a pie start to finish. So like, there's just something with it with me that it's embedded in me, like you know. So it's like I know this is what I'm supposed to be doing.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, we're terrible bakers by history. We've tried and failed many, many times. It's
Hey,
just
I already
like
told you my secret.
Yeah.
I'm not a baker.
I was excited hearing you say that. I'm like, maybe there is hope for me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No.
Just gotta
If you
practice,
do
I
it
guess.
enough.
maybe we
gonna
could
stick.
maybe you could reincarnate your Olympic rings cake that you did for me.
Well,
this is a
They were
good
actually
story.
very good.
What is
They
this?
were good. So for his birthday, it was at the time of the Sydney Olympics. So I think it was opening night.
Yeah,
was his
opening
birthday.
ceremony in 2000 Sydney Olympics was my birthday.
Yeah.
So we had a big
wow.
house party.
Wow, I
Yes,
bet.
and we hadn't been together for too long, so I obviously wanted to impress him. So I'm going to make the Olympic rings as his birthday cake. We had a lot of people coming over to eat them.
But what are they?
Is
it
The
bread?
logo.
Oh no,
is it?
sorry.
Oh,
It was a mud cake. A
Oh,
mud
okay.
cake. Sorry.
Oh,
So
sorry.
I did 5 mud cakes and turned them into rings, and they were actually delicious. My problem was the icing. I don't know what I did, but I messed up the icing, and they looked beautiful because they were the coloured rings, but no one wanted to eat.
Were they like oozy? The icing.
They were just.
Actually,
I don't know.
yeah.
They were wrong.
I was
I can follow directions really well. So if I read something over and over, I can pretty much get it. But yeah,
but-
Yeah.
I'm not a
I
natural.
greatly appreciated it. I mean, I was a few beers into the night, so it was all fine.
So you have a great memory.
Yeah.
Let's try it again sober. and
But yeah,
see how
no,
it
whether
goes.
it's the crust or the icing, like I don't know. But so we always, because Caroline's gluten intolerant and trying to figure out the best substitutes in that regard, and or different,
well,
or
we
different,
do gluten free.
or
You do
different.
gluten-free?
Oh, awesome.
Had I known, I would have brought you one.
That's
Or
fine.
You'll have to
different.
come by the shop.
Yeah. That's
I
good.
mean, if people want to cut back on the sugar, substitutes for the sugar, like there's so many, you can tinker it too much, obviously,
Yeah.
instead of just keeping the simple natural ingredients.
Yes.
Probably a lot easier.
Yeah.
And so you gluten-free, can you get the crust similar?
You can't even tell a difference in the way that it looks.
Oh, yeah.
But gluten-free is naturally more, I don't like to use the word grainy, but sometimes that's a better way to explain it. But then next thing you know, you feel like you're like that word is a little off-putting. But it's honestly, I have no reason to ever eat gluten-free. But I will eat that crust. It's amazing. I mean, it really is. It's essentially the same recipe with gluten-free flour and like one other tweak.
Yeah.
So it's very similar. It took us some time to get to
Yeah,
that
'cause
point.
it's
My dad figured it out. He had been researching and just, again, like when you read how to make crust, everyone's overcomplicating it.
Yeah.
So my dad kept trying. Then we felt like we got it, but there was all these like layers to making it. And I was like, he said it finally hit him one night. He was like, I'm overcomplicating this.
Oh, yeah.
And so then he just dialed back, and then he was like, I'm just going to use gluten-free flour. And then I know one other thing that I want to add to this, and then boom. And it's amazing. It really is. My daughter will just pick at it and eat the crust.
Yeah, wow.
You'll
that's
have to
so
try
great.
it.
Yeah, I definitely want to try that. What a great lesson about just keeping things simple.
Right?
Yeah.
Can we do that in every
the
aspect
solution.
of our It's taken me 40 years to finally realize that.
Yeah,
It doesn't
yeah.
have to be
Because
chaotic.
on like the icing and stuff, I'll just keep playing with it, adding too much of one thing or not enough of the other, and just a mess.
Life lesson
Terrible.
right there.
Yeah.
So is that with all your pies, gluten-free, or just select
We can do
pies?
it with all of them.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, cool.
There's actually a checkbox on our website. So if you selected apple, there's a box to select gluten-free.
Wow, that's
Cool.
amazing. That's really incredible.
Yeah, so your apple pie was your initial signature pie.
Yes.
That kicked off the business.
Yes.
And how many pies now? How many different pies are you doing now? And has that changed a lot over the years?
Yeah. So I used to be, you learn with business, you have to begin to say no if you are going to really grow. And we used to be yes about everything. Yes, I'll drive this far to deliver you this pie. Yes, I can make some special pie I've never heard of. And then I started to look at my kitchen's efficiency and the flow of the kitchen and how, you have to look at payroll and everything starts to get real fast. And you're like, you know what? When I make that lemon meringue pie, because of meringue, it takes an hour for one pie versus 50 key lime that I can make in 20 minutes.
Wow.
So it's like, what am I doing pushing that when I should be pushing this? So like I've definitely gotten to a place where I'm shifting numbers and what I'm marketing. So like for Easter, I'm not going to give you 20 options anymore. We're going to do 4. And it works because I make sure they're 4 of our best. And if you steer people in a certain direction, they're going to follow if they believe in your product. So I've gotten to a place where I had 22 plus flavors always on my menu. And now people will call too sometimes and they'll be like, your strawberry rhubarb's not showing up. And I'm like, well, rhubarb is $100 a case now.
Oh, wow.
So do you want to pay top so it's tough, but you have to get to a place where you offer less if you want to stick around.
Yeah.
And people get comatose by too many choices anyway.
They do.
Yeah, I was just going to say,
I didn't realize
from consumer.
that until, like, even with weddings and stuff, when brides reach out, I used to give them everything.
Yeah.
And then I started to say, no, these are the best. If you want to impress your guests, choose from these 4 to 6. And then they're, like, relieved.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay, why wasn't I doing that from the beginning?
Yeah.
Because it works.
Yeah, I guess you got to, like a
I
wedding
agree.
and stuff, like play the percentages, like how many people would be interested in a particular
I know.
special pie
I know.
versus a apple or, I'm not going to say the word wrong again.
Pecan.
Pecan. So, I'm the same. Like going to a restaurant, if it's a huge menu, like I don't know what to eat. It's overwhelming.
I know.
Like it's the similar concept with the pies.
It
So it's
totally
like,
is. It really is. I mean, I always have my biggest sellers in the front now at the shop because I know if I have too many options, it just becomes too much and it's too much to talk about. It's too much to see and people just want simplicity.
Yeah. So what are those biggest sellers and do you have a personal favorite that you make yourself?
So our pecan pie is my go-to no matter what time of the year. Leave a fork in it because I know I'm going back to it pie. In fact, sometimes I don't even use a fork. I just pick it up and eat it. It's dangerous. But our coconut cream is a huge seller. And I actually do not like coconut flavored anything. But because we don't use artificial sweetener, there's a difference you'll notice in our coconut cream because you just feel like you're getting those natural flakes because we do. I mean, we cook flakes into it and then we sprinkle baked flakes on top. It's so good.
Yum.
And then our apple is always our strawberry rhubarb. Have you ever had that?
Rhubarb?
Probably.
Rhubarb?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I love
Probably.
rhubarb.
It's so good.
Yeah.
But it's so expensive right now. And then our key lime is a huge. So I just did an event this past Saturday, and we were giving out samples. Everyone was like rolling their eyes in the back of their heads as they were taking a bite of that. It's so good, and you can see the zest in it and everything.
Oh, nice.
And it's not green,
Yes.
which means
Yeah.
it's right.
There you go.
There you
Okay.
go. So
If there's anything green in it, if you see,
Add
other than
some
the zest,
additives that shouldn't be in it.
yes.
Right.
I had a lady once come into the shop and she was asking about my key lime and I'm talking to her about it. And she goes, but it's not green. And I said, because it's right. If it was green, there's food coloring in
There
it.
you go. Okay.
And our chocolate truffle is excellent, but our chocolate chess is our number 1 chocolate seller. So those are like the big ones. And then we just started this Sunshine Lemon. It's basically our key lime pie, but lemon flavored.
Yum.
So it's the same consistency. It's the same bite, but it's a lemon flavor.
Oh, yum. How delicious. And so, sorry, about how many pies do you make a day now?
It depends.
Yeah.
Hundreds.
Wow. That's crazy.
But it just depends on the day of the week. We're getting smarter with the way that we're prepping things too, so we can actually do more. And people are really starting to notice us in this new space. So I'm getting more foot traffic. So yeah, I mean, we're growing. So it just depends on like
how big is you've gone from you and your dad, like how big's the operation now, roughly?
So now I have right around 6 employees. And they're great. I mean, it is like a family dynamic you don't see. We sit and eat lunch together. Someone typically makes lunch for everybody. My dad comes in. They all look at him like a father figure. I mean, it really is like a reality show waiting to happen. Like,
there you go.
He's a man.
There's an idea if anyone's listening in the TV world.
It's just a really solid foundation of people who are working there, and everyone genuinely is a team player. So we have a good time.
And your dad's still baking?
He is officially retired as of January, but I still ask for help. Like if I'm like, he helps a lot with Eliana, but like for instance, he helped deliver something on Saturday, so like he steps in, and my mom as well. She doesn't get as much credit as she deserves. Like there's so much behind the scenes stuff that she was doing prior to January. So
awesome.
They're very involved.
And so you can buy a full pie, which is how big? How many slices?
So
in a full
we
pie?
are on the larger side. If you were to go into another place, they're typically 8 inches. We are right at 10 inches in diameter. Our apple pie weighs like 3 pounds. Like so there's real no comparison. So it's right at 10 inches in diameter. And then we sell, like these are 7 slices per pie.
Okay.
So like we'll sell them by the slice, and then they're cut 7 slices per pie.
Nice. And you can get hold of the pies by dropping in, pick up, you deliver.
We ship nationwide. We're not delivering anymore.
Okay.
The foot traffic at the shop it kind of clicked one day, and I was like, I don't think delivery is necessary anymore. It's too much for us to, especially with gas prices and everything. And an employee who's constantly running around just delivering onesies and twosies. So I have a delivery person who delivers to our restaurants and markets in the area. That's the only delivery we're offering right now. And then we ship nationwide through Goldbelly.
Okay. And what's the turnaround on that usually?
For Goldbelly?
For shipping? Like
I think on
I guess it depends on the state or whatever.
Yeah, I think we have it set up where it's like if you go on and look at their calendar, I think it's like 48-hour notice we have to have before it ships out. Okay. I think it's set up.
Yeah. And then you cater to events as well, obviously. Like all different types of events.
For Pie Day, we did Raleigh Brewing, we did Bond Brothers, we did Pendo.
Beer and pie. Awesome.
Right? And we're getting a next door neighbor. It's called, I don't want to pronounce this incorrectly, but I think it's called Riparian. It's a beer bottling company. They're moving in next door. So, I mean, who doesn't want to stop in and get some beer and take a slice of pie home?
Oh, yeah.
So
that's a good
we're
match.
Really excited to have them as neighbors.
What's the biggest time of the year for you? Like the most demand?
Thanksgiving by far.
Yeah, right. Pumpkin pie? You do a pumpkin pie?
Oh, yes. Oh, yes. Our pumpkin sells like crazy. It's really good. Now that I know you like pumpkin.
That's okay. We know where to find you.
Yeah, now I'm just up the street. In fact, I'm 6 minutes away when
we drive past there all the time when we come here too into downtown. It's all good. Yeah.
Thanksgiving by far.
Really? Okay. So you got to be prepared like in advance a lot.
We had to shut off orders almost like 4 weeks out because it had become so
too much.
All hands on deck.
Yes.
Right.
And we had just moved in to this new space, and we just got new ovens. So we were learning the ovens, how they were working. We burnt a lot of pies prior to. There was a lot. I mean, I honestly, when I look back, I'm like, we are psychotic. Like, how did we just pull that off? And why did we take on that much at one time? But yeah, definitely Thanksgiving.
I think I just discovered my baking problem. It's the oven. It's not me.
I think I've discovered
that's what it is.
My baking problem. It's don't bake, just buy them from Kristen.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
It's easy. He's like,
I just simplified everything.
Instead of me spending
send a gift, send a pie.
2 hours making a mess in our kitchen, like, why? No.
Yes, please.
My
think
time
that
is
way
important.
Going forward. that works.
Great.
Yeah.
So you have dropped a lot of really useful advice for anyone, particularly if they want to start their own business, like, simplifying things, get more efficient, look at your data, your numbers, and, kind of, I think one of the biggest one is like follow your intuition, which is how you first started. Can you offer any more advice? And particularly because it's Women's History Month, maybe, being in business as a woman in Raleigh, do you have any other kind of words of wisdom or advice for anyone who might be considering, the tap on the shoulder? Gosh, I want to follow that tap.
Understand your financials from the beginning. I did not. I'm not good with numbers naturally, and I trusted some people along the way that I shouldn't have, that I will never do again. So there were mistakes that were made where you think you're hiring a professional, and then you realize you're being taken advantage of.
Yeah, wow.
So there were definitely times where I was like lost in that side of the business. I didn't realize, and you'd be surprised some of the things that I thought were being taken care of that weren't.
Yeah, right.
And then next thing you know, you get a knock at the door and you're realizing things are slipping through the cracks, and you're like, but you're the professional. That's what you're good at. So I think in hindsight, I would have educated myself more on my books from the beginning and understanding how the labor and everything ties into your cost in a way that, like, it's so important. Every piece of that is important to understand. But like you said, the gut side of things, I have always struggled with flip-flopping and not trusting my initial instinct on things. And I've realized now what a good, a strong intuition I have, but I kept choosing not to listen to it and letting other people lead me in different directions that didn't feel right. And it ultimately ended up working out the way I felt like it was from the beginning. So I try really hard with my daughter too to say, well, what does your gut say?
Yeah.
Okay, go with that. Yeah. Don't question it. Just, ultimately what's right or wrong for you. So that is another big lesson that I've learned over and over again. You really got to follow your gut.
Yeah, very powerful lesson. It's one thing I say the same to my daughters, what's your gut saying? Because I've learned the same thing, and I think life's trying to guide you on a path, and if you don't follow it, you're eventually going to get on that path, but through a pathway of a lot of pain. So you might as well just trust your instinct in the first place.
Yes.
Because you will learn it the hard way. And I think, when you're in business in particular, you're kind of taking a lot more risks, and you're getting thrown into this world. As you started, you knew nothing when you started. So you had to figure it out as you go. And I think one thing you do discover along that journey is that the only thing that remains constant in a world of noise and advice from everyone else is your inner voice. And
so
it
true.
gets stronger the more that you do it. And then you realize, simplify. Oh my gosh, it was just listening to
it was
that
so
voice.
easy. Why did I have to go this painful route? Yes, that is definitely something that I've struggled with. But now I feel like I'm on that other side of things where I'm like, I just said no, and that felt really good.
Yes.
Wow. And I don't even think I was mean about it. So, I don't worry so much about what people think.
Yeah, there's so much power in the no. My gosh.
It's so true.
Yeah.
It's been a game changer for me in every aspect of my life, personally and professionally.
Yeah.
Saying the word no is good.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, and hiring and outsourcing is tough. Like, we go through that ourselves, and I know I don't like giving up control of certain things, so I've got to get better at that. But we've realized that no one cares more about your business than you do, and trying to find that same passion or the same productivity can be difficult.
Yes, very much so.
So it was mostly the financial side of things. What about production side of any big failures, like with producing or? I mean, it sounds like you had a pretty streamless run through the baking side of things. But tell us about one or two like failures, and was there ever a time you wanted to quit? Like seriously?
Oh, yeah. I mean, yes to all of that. We've had total failures. I mean, I've had really pissed off customers before because something wasn't right, but and that's inevitable. We're baking food, you know? So like sometimes you're going to get it wrong. Now, you don't want to get it wrong a lot.
Yeah.
But when you do, you own it and then you go above and beyond to fix it. But I don't think that the customer is always right either. Yeah. I think that is a misconception.
Yeah, but I struggled with that too. Like,
I do.
Come on, there's got to be instances where it's not like 100% black and white.
Yeah. I mean, maybe you just don't like our product and we're not for you, and that's okay. I mean, that rarely happens though. We're amazing.
Yeah,
so it can be they complain
I think
about
some people just like to complain.
Is it
honestly.
Is it taste? Yes. Is it taste or freshness or like
I think
not the delivery?
A couple times it was something was missing or we've had some here or there. So totally own it. And like, if I feel like it should have been a better experience, I mean, we always own up to it and fix it.
Yeah, so that's awesome.
It's rare though. But I mean, there are times where you just can kind of tell when someone's a complainer and they're just miserable and you have to just massage the situation as much as possible, knowing they're just never going to be happy about it.
Yeah.
So it does happen.
Yeah.
What was the other question? You asked me something else, so I feel like we move on from that.
Just failures, like the baking or the production side of things.
Oh, there's been times where I like I'm done, like I'm walking away. Oh yes, probably a year ago.
Really? Oh, interesting. I thought it'd be earlier on in the process. Oh, I guess the craziness of what's going on?
When we signed our lease and I was not saying no to things that I should have said no to and following my gut like I should have. And it just slapped me in the face so hard. And to the point where I was having so much anxiety that I was like, I can't live like this anymore. This is stupid. I'm trying to get through a pandemic. My business got hit by the riots on Martin Street. So like there was just so much building up to that moment. And then something that happened just pushed me over the edge. And I was like, I'm done. That lasted for like 24 hours. And then I was like, no, I'm not done. So like, I think everyone goes through it at some point. You just don't want people to know. And I think I'm really good at keeping that positive perspective, but to say that I haven't wanted to quit would be a total lie. I mean, my support system knows me better than myself sometimes, and they know I am like, I'm not going to quit. And it's not about not quitting. I guess they believe in me so much that they know I'm going to figure it out.
Yeah.
And sometimes it's about asking for help too. I'm surrounded by very powerful and educated and intelligent and just kind and loving women specifically. And then I have my dad, who is like my biggest supporter in life from a male perspective. So like I'm really fortunate that where I'm at right now is I'm surrounded by so much good that people really want to see me succeed. So even if I wanted to quit, I don't think they would let me.
Yeah.
And I need those kind of people because I needed some perspective and I needed people to kind of shake me and say, wake up, you are onto something huge. Do not, you can't walk away from this. So here we are. And I feel even better and more passionate about the business now than I ever have. And just to think that was a year ago, it's true. If you just try to change your perspective, and you can't control everything, that you can make something work if you really want it.
Yeah. It's so important for people to know. I mean, you've been doing it 8 years, right? So this was like 7 years into your business.
Yeah.
That it doesn't matter how successful someone looks from the outside or what they're achieving. everyone's going to go through a moment where it just gets too much.
Yes.
And you just like, I'm done. It happens to us all the time, especially during the pandemic.
Almost every day.
Oh my God. We're done. We're out of here. But, you know, surrounding yourselves with those people really obviously helps you get through those moments, but also like being able to, as you said, change your perspective and tap back into, well, why are you doing it in the first place?
Right. And then I look at my daughter and I'm like, no, it's
what's the alternative? Like, the alternative is more painful to go and get a job again and work 9 to 5 and not see your kids as much.
I don't think I could ever go back.
Yeah, no, we can't either. That's one of our motivations.
Once you get a taste of this side of it, your spirit, everything about you starts to light a fire that you can't just step back. Now it's like, what's next? What am I going to do next? How can I brand it from this way? Like, my mind just has steered in a direction that I don't know what I don't even know how I would go back.
No.
I'm in it.
Yeah.
Whatever direction I'm taking, I'm not going back.
And that's the type of person you are now that you've grown into. So
yes.
It's just kind of always sort of, as you said, lighting the fire, but spreading the fire and moving towards that and seeing what else you're capable of and what else you can do. And is your gut telling you something in the future? Is something different, like, or addition to what you do now, or just continuing on to do what you're doing? But
I think it's just going to be, you know, right now I'm very focused on the new space. So that is number one priority. How do I get more people to walk in? That you need to stop when you're leaving town. You need to stop when you're coming into town. You have to go by Slice. I want Slice to be a staple for Raleigh. So who's doing pies like this? No one.
Yeah.
So, and this is all we focus on. So, and I feel like pies are a lost art. We've got it down pat. So from a tourism perspective, everything like that, my goal is to make Slice a staple. When you go into Raleigh, you're stopping at Slice.
Yep.
And if you're not, you're missing out.
Yeah.
So that's my goal for now. The immediate goal is to really make that something that people feel like they have to tap into. I think I'm, from a individual perspective, interested in branding myself in a way where, you know, talking to people about passion, especially female entrepreneurs. So I think that's a direction I want to take. There's been some discussion about teaching people how to make pies.
Oh yeah.
But I'm not quite there yet because we don't want to give away our recipes
I was
yet.
going to say, that means you're going to have to
You know, some people who do give away their recipes and they have a recipe book and all that, it actually brings more business.
Yeah, yeah.
Because most people still don't want to make it.
No.
Exactly.
Like,
they don't. They
hello?
want to pretend.
Like, even if I gave you all of it, you would still be like, no, I want to stop in and get it.
No, I love to eat a lot of things, but I don't like to cook at all. It's not my passion. I'd rather, save my time and do other things.
And there's
just
more people leaning in that direction than there are people who are going to go, well, I have the Slice Pie Company cookbook and sit and make it.
So has there ever been a YouTube channel or show you've done, or like
I haven't.
In the works, or
I haven't.
Like,
no, the reality TV show is coming.
Duh. Oh God, I don't know if I'd want everyone to see me that way.
Yeah, like is it? Yeah, is it really?
Layers in here.
Is it really reality like these shows? I don't know.
Yeah,
it's all
there's
editing.
a lot. There's a lot. I'm very multi-layered.
So the new space, is that somewhere you can sit in and eat, or it's just pick up and go?
So it's pick up and go, but I'm going to have outdoor seating. I'm actually going to extend the hours too, because now that we're getting those new neighbors, I have a feeling that weekends are going to be huge for us, especially when it's warmer. So I'm going to put some outdoor seating, but I believe they're going to have outdoor seating too. So I think we're going to do that. Once you start to open your doors to indoor eating, it's a whole nother realm of things. I have to offer bathroom. I have to have something to drink. Like, there's rules and permits. And so far, you know, I've had people stop in because they're like, there's like one other dessert place close by, and we wanted to sit in here. And I understand that, but like from a business perspective and the direction that everything's flowing now since the pandemic, I don't think it's a necessity.
That's true.
For us to stay, you know, in business.
People are more used to now not sitting in to
Exactly.
a place. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. That makes sense. And Dick's Park is close by. Grab
Yeah.
your pie and
Well, I tell
sit in the
people
park.
too, and but I'm gonna have some outdoor seating just for people who kind of want to pop in and sit down for a second.
Yeah.
So.
Now, Kristen, can you have pie at any time of day? Like it's not just dessert, right?
My customers they'll get a whole pie and they'll be like, "This is my breakfast for the next week."
There you go.
So like, yeah,
you
people
go.
wake up and eat pie.
And can you
Coffee
pair it
and-
with an Irish coffee?
and cake. Oh, totally. Yeah, absolutely.
Funny you should say that.
You make a killer Irish coffee? Come on, please tell me.
No, I don't. I am Irish though.
There you go.
But I don't know much about that. But I think we're gonna do coffee too. We're trying to see what the traffic flow is like. We've only been there for a short period of time. But I have heard from the kind of like block neighborhood, they're all like, "There's no coffee,
Yes,
and it would be great just to walk." So I think if we start to open on Saturdays, I'm going to look into
that whole
selling
south
coffee.
side,
That
like
would
it's
go
Yeah.
changing. Like everywhere's changing in Raleigh. As
That
you know, like,
neighborhood
yeah.
is
Yes.
like the best
Pumping.
people.
Because
It is
if I know where you were thinking of is
Your trophy.
near Trophy Brewing,
yeah.
near Maynard,
we're
sort of.
right next. We're like a block.
Okay, a block from the corner of Maynard.
I've been taking samples there too, and that's been bringing
Oh yeah,
customers
because
because they all go and hang out there after work. So it's people have realized, oh, you're just up the street, so they've been coming in and I have one guy every single Tuesday. Every Monday he places an order for Tuesday pickup,
Oh wow,
and he gets a different pie every time,
I love that.
and he looks forward to it every week.
Wow.
That's so
Yeah.
great.
Awesome.
A
Last
different-
week was
Loyal.
mixed berry. The week before was chocolate peanut butter.
Yeah,
And
right.
he's like the nicest guy.
Yeah,
Yeah, cool.
I love it. That's great.
That's all you need is some raving fans like that. That's all you need. So you said in restaurants too, like you can get them in select Raleigh restaurants. your
Well,
pies,
we're
or-
more on the outskirts in restaurants because I didn't want to have too many restaurants if we have our retail
The same.
space.
Oh yeah.
So I have pies in Smithfield, Garner, Clayton. I have pies in Chapel Hill, Cary, Holly Springs. I've got pies in Bedford. So like we're kind of a little bit further out from where my location is, but
Makes
yeah.
sense. That's great. And now being Women's History Month, are there any female entrepreneurs or business owners in Raleigh that you admire or look up to or learn from?
10,000% Cindy Eckert.
Sydney, no, I've heard her name recently.
Oh, you need to look her up.
Okay.
She is female everything. One of the things she says is unapologetically pink. She wears pink every day.
I think I've
She is
seen,
a powerhouse.
Yeah.
So I really look up to her and just everything that everything that she's paving for women in Raleigh. She's very centered in like helping Raleigh female business owners.
So she kind of like a coach or a...
When I reach out and I'm like,
Yeah.
I need some advice. Yes. Yeah.
Okay. I have a feeling that she was mentioned on another podcast recently.
She's
Terrence
yeah,
Reese,
she
I
does
feel like.
podcasts. She's excellent.
Yeah.
You follow her.
Okay.
You will learn something.
Okay, that's great. So Cindy Eckert, unapologetically pink.
Don't you love
That's a
that?
business name.
I know.
Instagram
very
account.
catchy. It's good
Yeah.
to have your tagline on your business name. It's very easy to remember.
Yeah,
And, like,
right?
yeah, it stands out like
And
that.
she's always in pink. So it's like perfect branding.
totally.
I know.
I'm like, I got to come up with a color.
Yeah,
I
look
wouldn't
at
be
me,
able
look at
to
this.
choose.
I know.
So you got the
And then you
Too
don't want to
rainbow.
copy,
You
even
got the-
though I love the color pink.
you got the red font and the brown pies.
So
Cool.
we actually, my best friend that created the logo, she did research on colors
Okay.
and what makes people feel hungry. And I was like, I never even thought about that.
No.
And so we decided on slice. It's almost like a terracotta, but almost like a little bit off. And then the brownish, tannish color is like warm. So we were very intentional about our colors.
Yeah, interesting.
And
I guess
I made sure the outside edge was scalloped to look like a pie.
Yeah.
yeah, so much thinking goes into it. I guess
Psychology, isn't it?
like when you hit buy buttons on websites and stuff too, like a different color gets a different reaction.
Yeah,
or stuff
I
like
didn't
that.
even,
So,
I wasn't privy to that until
Yeah.
she told me. And I was like, that's so obvious.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I was very intentional when we were making the logo. I want it to be very simple looking and kind of timeless, but then be very clear what we are. Although there is a pie in my actual logo, you would be surprised how many people ask what we do.
yeah.
And I'm like, wait, the
Even when
pie
it
is
says-
in my logo
and
and
it
it says pie.
company.
I
Yeah.
have received
That's
calls
crazy.
to order a pepperoni pizza and see how long that's going to take. And I'm like,
okay.
oh, no, that's not what we are.
Yeah.
It
They just
happens.
hear
That's
like
so
pie,
funny.
slice
Yeah.
of pie. Okay.
I
Yeah.
get
Wow.
it. I
You
get
really
it.
got to be so simple and really like,
I know. It
Dumb it
seems
right
so
down.
I know.
Like-
There are so many things that you don't realize. If you aren't very clear, it could be the perception of something is totally different to other
yeah.
people.
And you only have seconds, like on a website, particularly to grab someone's attention.
Yeah.
Or they're gone.
I mean, I
And,
literally have pies everywhere on my website, and I've had people go to my contact record or contact page and ask for a pizza.
but I want the pepperoni.
And it's like,
Where's the
how did
pepperoni?
you get that? I don't get it. But again,
Maybe you should.
everyone thinks differently. Everyone,
Yeah,
you know,
they really
it
do.
really is.
Might have to come up with a unique creation, like a pizza pie thing.
I know. That's a good idea. I bet my crust with that would be excellent. Don't get me started down that path.
No, don't lose focus.
I swear
don't
I've
lose
seen
focus.
those flaky kind of pizza pie crust now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When
Pop
Chicago, they do like the deep dish.
The deep one, yeah.
So I could see where I could maybe pull
Yeah,
that
yeah.
off. Okay, let's stop. Let's stop.
That's far into the future.
Okay. Yeah. So yeah, things are going great in the new space. Obviously Raleigh's growing like crazy and has been for quite some time. Are you excited about doing business in Raleigh the next 5 to 10 years, or any concerns about doing business in Raleigh?
I mean, I have concerns every single second. So 5 years from now, I'm sure my concerns will change. I do feel like the fact that we are a small business that did not have to shut down during the pandemic and kept moving and kept growing, that I'm very optimistic about Slice's direction and how, you know, this is one of the fastest growing cities in the country. And I've planted my feet very firmly here, that I really feel like we're on a path of just truly dominating pies in the area. I mean, you always want to have competition to some extent, but like the fact that we were able to get through all the hard times that we've experienced, all of us have experienced, and as a small business, and, you know, all these large corporations coming in, and I can't compete with that. So the fact that my employees still want to stick around, the fact that people are still placing orders, I do feel hopeful that we're going to continue to grow.
I'm curious, as a native, you've obviously seen Raleigh grow so much, especially at the moment. Do you like how it's changed? Is there anything that upsets you or annoys you about it? Or
I think I was a city girl in my other life.
yeah,
So I actually love it. I love the change and excitement and everything that's growing here. I like to. I'm excited about it. It's interesting how many people are. I like change though, and a lot of people don't like change.
Yeah.
I'm also very spoiled because where I live on this little remote country road that feels like you are away from everything.
I love that.
But I'm literally in the middle of everything. So like I am getting a little taste of what old Raleigh was in my home life. I mean, honestly, if you came to my house, you would be like, I feel like
We
I'm
in
in
Raleigh?
a different town.
Yeah.
Anyone that
Yeah,
comes
yeah.
over is like, this is weird.
Yeah.
But like,
What year is it again?
I know. It's so, and so I have that piece where I feel like I kind of step away from what feels like a growing city and construction everywhere. And, but I actually love it.
Yeah.
I'm a foodie. I mean, I'm not going to say that I'm some connoisseur or anything, but I love nice, high quality foods. So like all this stuff that's coming here now is super exciting to me.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, it's got to evolve or die. I mean, obviously the secret's well and truly out about Raleigh, and I love city life too. So I'm excited about the growth, as long as it's like managed growth and it doesn't lose its identity.
Yeah.
And Raleigh's still Raleigh. But yeah, we're going to London in a couple of days, and like I love big cities.
Me too.
I probably won't want to leave, but Raleigh's obviously a great place to come back to. So that's a good thing. But yeah, awesome. Any other business type questions, or we should ask some fun Raleigh NC questions?
Yeah, let's do that.
Yeah, we ask all our podcast guests these questions. So interested to hear your answers, being as local as you can get these days in Raleigh. If you got a friend visiting from out of town, where are you taking them for breakfast, lunch,
my dad's kitchen,
dinner? There you go. Wow.
No.
What are his hours?
Honestly, though, I would.
His hours. What is he open?
I know. I need to stop telling people about this, but no, I mean, I would.
What's your dad's name?
So
you mentioned your dad a lot.
Mike Mullins.
Mike Mullins. Okay,
Mike Mullins.
I guess is he famous around Raleigh too, like yourself? He's probably famous around Raleigh like yourself.
Oh, I think people like him more than me. So like, even my employees are like, "When is your dad coming in?" I'm like,
He demand. Yeah.
I don't think anyone that's ever met my father has not instantly fallen in love with him. So he's like, both my parents are like the greatest humans on the planet. So, but I would, because I'm not really a breakfast person. So I really would just like spoil whoever that person is with some of my dad's something.
Do you do brunch?
Yeah, I love a good mimosa.
So where are you going for that?
I'm kind of all over the place. So like, I really like going to Y Hill.
Yeah.
Have you been there?
Oh yeah, many times.
I love going there when the sun's going down.
Yes.
But like, I really like Vidrio, Cortez. Have you been to Cortez?
We have not yet.
So
shockingly,
oh my god,
it's definitely on the list.
You have to go. So I like small plated meals because I like to talk about it and I like to try different things like charcuteries and stuff like that. If I were to do breakfast, I'd probably go to the State Farmers Market restaurant. Have you been there?
No.
It is.
I went to go there. I made the mistake of trying to go there.
Country, southern,
yeah. We lined up one time with the kids on a weekend, and it's so popular, that place. Like
it's
the
so
line
good.
is way out the door. So
I mean, it is like
I'd love
Raleigh.
to. Yeah,
that is Raleigh.
Yeah. Kind of like Big Ed's, I guess, the southern breakfast experience.
That place too.
Yeah.
It's great.
Yeah.
I don't know. I just like small plated tapas type stuff. And I'll try anything. I will eat anything. Like, even if I'm not going to like it, I will still eat it.
Yeah.
Just because, why not?
That's a skill.
Any date night favorite spots in the city?
Just went to one. I know I'm dating. 40 and dating is a whole nother world.
I have heard stories.
Just went to Y Hill actually with a guy, and he came from out of town, and he was like, "This is impressive.
Yeah.
Like, it's a cool spot." And then we went to Watson Ward after.
Oh, I love Watson Ward.
But I like doing like live events, so I like going to concerts. Went to the Canes game Friday night, so like that's what I'm into. If there's a concert, I'm going.
Yeah.
I don't even care if it's like really my type of music. I've actually found that by doing that, you can relate to any type of music.
That's true. Yeah.
What's your favorite venue, like Walnut Creek or PNC or
Red Hat? It just depends. I love Red Hat.
Yeah.
I made a questionable parenting decision months ago, and I took my daughter to a TLC and Bone Thugs and Harmony concert.
TLC.
And I know. When they started singing Red Light Special, and my daughter was like, "What is this?" I was like, "Oh God!" I said, "Listen, I can't protect you from everything."
No.
But yes, I love going to Red Hat. Red Hat is so much fun. So much fun. I mean, but honestly, Coastal and PNC. I mean, I go to all of them.
Yeah.
I will spend my money on live events.
Yes. So do we.
Yeah, totally. Experiences like we went to, as
Even
we mentioned off air before this, we took our daughter to Billie Eilish in Charlotte.
Yeah.
And we love putting money into stuff like that, and just the memories, accumulate memories in those moments is like priceless.
far over any sort of material thing that you can get.
Yeah.
I'm not a materialistic person. So like for me, it is, you know, although I haven't been able to do a lot of it, traveling, getting out of your environment, and then exposing yourself to different type of music, like events, anything, is just, that's where like real growth and excitement happens.
So do you do like Bluegrass and Dreamville and like event festivals?
Are they coming soon?
Dreamville
is. Yes, and I'm going out of town that weekend.
I think it's the 2nd of April, I think.
Yes.
Yeah,
we haven't done Dreamville yet either.
I haven't done it, but I didn't know they were coming, and then realized I planned a beach trip with my employees. Actually, we're taking them to the beach.
Oh, fun.
And we're going to miss it.
Yeah.
So I'm kind of bummed about that.
Yeah. No, festivals are all back this year, thankfully.
I know. I'm so excited.
Yeah. Is there a favorite thing in living in Raleigh? I mean, I know you love living here, but is there one? If someone was thinking of moving to Raleigh here, like what's your standout feature or thing?
Well, for me, it's just deeper than that because my family's here. So, like, I understand how people would have a different experience than I do, but it just feel everything about Raleigh is in me. Like, it's just everything. Even though it's changing, it still feels the same to me. But I take change easily. So, it's just everything. I don't know. I feel like Raleigh is such a special city. And seeing the growth and everything, there's a reason why people want to move here. And it's because there's just something special about it.
I agree. It's very hard to define.
It is.
People ask us all the time, you know,
why
what are you doing here?
Yeah. Why Raleigh?
It's
And we're like, why not?
I can't kind of put my finger on it. It's just always felt like home, like how you say Raleigh's in you. It's always felt like that to me.
Yeah.
I mean, we're not natives, obviously, but it's really hard to explain to people. There's just something different about the energy here.
It is. I mean, I don't have much to compare it to, but I do feel like people are just really nice.
Yeah.
I mean, of course you get, you know, depending on where you are, but I don't know. Overall, it's just something about it. I can't imagine permanently living anywhere else.
I love that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Really feel like you belong.
Yeah.
Very cool. I liked hearing a native say that.
My accent.
Yeah.
I can pull it out really strong if I want to.
I love it. It's nice to hear, actually, because, you know, you don't hear it as much anymore. Yeah. So I always get excited when I hear the
you
Southern
should hear my
accent
father.
Oh, yeah?
Oh, next level.
Okay.
Next level.
I'm going to have to meet Mike for
yes.
sure.
Yeah, it's nice to hear.
So you're going to the beach. Is that one of your favorite getaway places in North Carolina?
Yeah.
Raleigh,
so my best friend lives in Surf City. My brother lives in Wilmington. So I get to experience that in ways that not everyone does. And then, but I'm more of a mountain girl. Like I love being cold. I love skiing. I love the mountains. So like I love going to the mountains. So if I'm going to go somewhere cold in North Carolina, it's going to be Asheville or something like that.
Yeah, great spot.
Yeah.
I need more friends that ski though.
Yeah, I was going to say not. Yeah.
We've only did it once for the first time.
You either love it or you hate it.
A year ago, believe it or not.
Did you like it?
Yeah.
I did, but I couldn't see myself doing it all the time just because I found it so intense. Like I was just scared the entire time.
My daughter had never been skiing, and last year I was like, we're going on a ski trip. And, you know, I had not planned a trip with just like not with my, you know, significant other. And then a couple of my other friends decided to come along. And I told her beforehand, I was like, you're either going to love this or hate it. You have to go into this knowing you're not going to be good at first.
Yeah.
And if I set her up to know that in advance, that she wasn't going to get frustrated. Yeah. And because I know her personality so well. And because she went into it with that attitude, next thing I know, she's on intermediate mountains, skiing. And
they have no fear.
We spent like 8 hours. She was like, this is literally the most favorite thing I've ever done.
Oh, wow.
And so now we're going to start planning like, and funny enough, my friends all hated it. They were at the bar within like an hour. One of them was so bruised up, she thought she like broke something. And my daughter and I are just up and down, up and down. And so I was like, okay, next time, just the two of us. And each year we're going to upgrade to a better mountain.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, we enjoyed the social side of it too. I guess that comes with skiing. That was fun, but we don't.
Gotta stop.
We don't like the cold so much. We usually chase the sun.
Yeah.
But, so where in NC do you like to ski? Like, where do you go?
Actually, I don't really like to ski in NC. Is that bad?
No,
should
it's
I
not
say
bad.
that?
That's real. Yes, of course.
Keeping it
I
real.
really like wintergreen and snowshoes. So Virginia and West Virginia. I mean, I'll do if I'm gonna do anything like that in North Carolina, maybe tubing. But I feel like it gets so icy.
Yeah, the powder's
It's
just
hard
not
to-
natural powder's just not there.
Yeah.
Much.
So I you know, if given the opportunity to go skiing in North Carolina, I'll do it. But if I'm going to plan a trip, I'll probably go up north a little bit more.
Makes sense.
Or west. Go west.
I mean, if it were up to me.
Yeah.
We skied in northern Idaho. The very first time.
Oh, I bet that was
amazing.
amazing.
It was
Some
amazing,
great powder,
Really
awesome
good powder.
scenery.
See, and everyone says
affordable.
it's totally different. Was it?
Yeah.
I need to do it. And I told Eliana, I'm like, now that I know you like this, I'm going to invest in like bigger trips for this because no one likes skiing in my life but me. So it's good that
or maybe Europe at Christmas time.
I know.
Or something.
Dream
That'd be
big,
cool.
right?
Yeah. Okay, so let's getaway spots. Is there a can't miss attraction in Raleigh that people a can't miss attraction in Raleigh that people should put on their list?
I mean, like we mentioned, Red Hat, I feel like that whole area is just so beautiful, especially, I don't even know what that wall is.
I know,
the shimmer wall.
Yeah, when you're in that amphitheater and you're looking around, it's a moment.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
I feel like if given the opportunity, you should definitely go to a concert there.
I agree.
Whether it's Bone Thug and Harmony with your 10-year-old daughter or
something a bit heavier.
It all works. It's all good.
Or Bastille. Or Lizzo. I saw Lizzo there.
Lizzo, wow.
I got pies in her dressing room.
Oh, you
really?
did?
There you go.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
That's cool.
So we've been doing some artists like at Coastal and PNC and at Red Hat.
Yeah.
So I get pies
Just
into
send
their
pie.
And how do you get the pies in there? You just know someone who will put it in the room, or?
You know, I've been very fortunate to connect with people who respect what we're doing and they realize it's a different kind of gift to give someone. So I feel like, you know, you come into Raleigh and you're from wherever and you're an artist and you travel all over the world. You could get anything placed into your dressing room. How often do you stop and there's a homemade pie that has your album cover name on it?
Yeah,
you
wow.
know?
Wow.
So I've established some pretty strong connections with people in, you know, Coastal, Red Hat, PNC that really love what we do and have been really supportive about getting us in there. So
I love that. That's a great idea.
It's taken a lot of work.
But I'm sure it's going to pay off.
Like and to say you're even there is, you know, Cane's Games, stuff like that. We've done pies for lots of VIPs. So
we're going to the Foo Fighters concert in May in Walnut Creek.
Maybe I'll be
get
in
in there a pie into
I don't
Dave.
know. A lot of times it's last
I'm sure he
minute,
loves pie.
and then I find out, and then I'm like, boom, and then we come up with something amazing.
How cool would that be? Dave?
I might be there too. I don't know. I won't know till last minute though.
Yeah. Dave Grohl eating your pie.
Oh, that would be amazing.
That would be amazing. All right, we're going to wrap it up with one last question that we ask everyone. And you've probably touched on this, but we can just restate it. But if we were to offer up the phrase to you, this is Raleigh, what word, phrase, or image comes to mind?
This is going to sound stupid, but maybe to y'all, but me. I mean, I feel like my family, my roots, everything. When I think of Raleigh, I think of my past, my present, my future. I think about family. I don't think about one thing in particular. I just think about this is where I'm supposed to be. Raleigh is home. So like I think about my daughter, my siblings, my best friends, my childhood. So it's bigger than that, than like one thing. I don't know. Everything about
Yeah.
just how I grew up and everything. Like, this is a great place to say that you grew up.
Yeah, I love that. And that kind of goes into like what you're trying to put into your pies. Like, you want people to get that sense of family history and tradition.
And
so
taste
these are
of Raleigh.
pies that really do
Yeah,
taste
I
like
just
Raleigh.
said pies.
Yeah. Taste of Raleigh.
This is
Roasted pie.
Raleigh.
Yeah, there you go.
Slice.
Yeah, slice.
I missed that plug opportunity.
Here we go. Slice of pie.
There you go.
Slice Pie Company.
Pecan.
Sorry.
Pecan pie. Get your pecan pie.
Dear. Oh, dear.
We'll just remind everyone before we wrap up where they can find you and get your pies, and maybe even connect with you on online social media.
Yeah, so all of our social media handles are at Slice Pie Company. So I did that deliberately to make it easy.
Keep it simple. Keep it simple.
Yeah, and we are at 1400 South Saunders Street. We have our own parking lot. We are directly off Highway 40. You don't have to go through downtown. So some people do have the misconception they still have to go to our previous location and worry about parking. You're 5 steps away once you park to walk into our shop. And I do have options for sale daily. Last minute, you can call in. I'll do whatever I can.
Super easy if you're coming out of the city after work. Super easy to pull in and pick up a pie.
Yeah. Very easy.
Yeah.
And anyone who's visited has said that. They're like, I didn't realize how easy it was to access this.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it's not a complicated process.
Yeah.
Yeah. People can make it a habit. Do it daily.
Yeah.
I'll be there. I live there.
There you go. Well, thanks, Kristen. This has been great.
Thank
Appreciate
you. A lot of fun.
sharing your story and all your wins and your lessons too, which is
Yes.
important, just as important sometimes. So yeah, if you enjoyed listening to this episode, please share it, share the love, subscribe on your favorite podcasting station. And thanks again to Jason and his team from Earfluence Media for producing this podcast. And if anyone's looking for help with the podcast creation and marketing and editing and producing, check out Jason and the team there.
Yep. And we'll see you in the next episode. Thanks for listening, guys.
Thank you.
Thanks, Kristen.
Thank you so much.